Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that?
All right, Joseph. What are we talking about this week?
We're talking about a lot. We got a big list. A lot of it is Texas centric. We're going to talk about some legislation that's passed in the Lone Star State, and we're going to kind of
all good. I assume, right?
All good. We're going to talk about some Florida stuff, and obviously some QAnon and Trump stuff.
I'm wearing my Killed by Florida t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
That I designed for the band Killed by Florida.
I like it.
And it's of an accurate image of a insect that would be in Florida.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I lived in Florida for a long time, and Florida would straight up kill people. There, I lived on the coast, but I worked in Central Florida, and routinely people would get infected with like brain-eating parasites or fungus. They'd play in these ditches. Kids would like ride ATVs through ditches, and if they didn't manage to overturn the ATV and impale their brain with their own spine, they would somehow inhale like very hot water that had been sitting in a ditch all day, and then their brains would just turn to soup. It was very scary. So
wow. Yeah. Maybe people shouldn't live in Florida.
Well, it's
not. Well, we'll save that for later. What else are we talking
about? We're talking about a trio of gems. We're talking about Mo Brooks and Matt Gaetz and Paul Gozer.
Big admirers of a hero, of a military hero. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. I think we might talk a little bit about the January 6th commission or the lack thereof.
Yep.
And let's see, I mentioned Trump's blog, which has done remarkably well. And
weird that he's shutting it down.
Yeah. And then let's see, that's kind of it. I guess we have some odds and ends toward the end, but those are the big pieces. And
well, before we get into any of those things, what about so did you see the movie? What is it called? Is it called Army of the Dead?
I think it's called Army of the Dead. Yeah.
Oh man, I want to get this right. I feel like there's so many zombie movies that involve like the dead, and there's Dawn of the Dead, right?
Yep.
Which, the Romero and also the Snyder.
Yeah. Well, then the third one in the Romero was Day of the Dead. This one's called Army of the Dead, and it's a weird title because it doesn't really have much to do with
right. Armies. It's strange if you think about it. It's a strange title, I guess. I mean, if the zombies and army in this, yeah, sure. Okay, so it's a Zack Snyder movie. It's almost like we're getting a double treat this year. We got treated to his 4 hours and 5 extra hours of Justice League magna opus. Magna. We did a whole episode on that. You can listen to it on our podcast that we have.
Yeah.
Find us on Podbean and anywhere you can download episodes of YSGOAT. Spotify, the Apple one.
Yeah,
it's
iHeartRadio.
Yeah, you could. iHeart. Friendster.
You can put it on your Amazon Alexa. It'll play on that. So
you can listen to us anywhere you go.
Yes.
Well, we did an episode on the Justice League, and so we're not going to talk about that.
Right.
But we knew that he was also working on a movie. And I'll be honest with you, I somewhat enjoyed it. I think my issue with his DC stuff was just that I never felt like he was right for it. I felt like Man of Steel proved he wasn't right for DC. To launch a universe, I think he was a bad choice to have him be the guy that would create a universe, because yeah, we talk about that. But I did enjoy Dawn of the Dead a lot when I saw that. That was,
that was fun. Yeah.
James Gunn had a lot to do with that movie. Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn. I think he wrote it. I think he did the original script for it or something like that.
Okay.
The movie's good. I haven't watched it in years. So it was cool to see this. I do like a lot of the cast in Army of the Dead. I do like Bautista.
Oh, he's good.
Like Krista Little was great in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, right. Wait. I'm sorry. Unlike in politics, in movies, when a person's caught as being either a sex pest, pedophile, or some other awful thing, they usually get removed from the movies, and they don't star in them. We saw Kevin Spacey get removed from a movie, and they put in Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
Even though some genius decided to hire Kevin Spacey to be in a movie to prove to everyone that there is no such thing as cancel culture. Or what you think cancel culture is, it is not.
Well, they did. All things being equal, the actor they got to replace how do you say his name? Chris.
Well, I was gonna say that before I get into that.
Yeah.
That I find it funny that Krista Little gets kicked out of the movie, which he deserves.
Yeah.
But Matt Gaetz gets to stay in Congress, and we'll talk about him later. I love that movies and TV entertainment do a better job weeding out or tries to somewhat do a better job in that they actually acknowledge it.
Higher standards.
Yeah, they're like a somewhat of just
Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead straight to Netflix film has higher standards than Congress.
Straight to streaming film that's not even good. Like, I don't think anyone would even give a fucking shit if they turned on Netflix and that guy was in the movie. They wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Standards are so much higher than political office. This piece of shit gets to stay in office. Fuck, you might as well just put Krista Little in the Republican Congress. He would have a thriving career.
Yeah, right. Well, it was.
They replaced him with Tig. She's a comedian.
Yeah.
Is it Tig Notaro?
No. That's how I say her name. I'm not sure that that's the way the name is supposed to be said, but
she's really funny. And the funny thing too is they literally, like, supposedly they just planted her into the movie. Like, they didn't even, from what I heard, they didn't even like bring in the other actors, have to film new things. They just,
yeah, it's bizarre. Like, I watched it and I was telling my wife the story. I was like, the Tig Notaro's not even in, she never even saw the other actors when they made the movie or whatever. It popped in afterwards. And then, like, literally the next scene that pops up, they're all in the same shot together. And my wife's like, I thought you said that but if you look closely, you can see, like, they do some weird blur thing where, like, when
the movie has like that grainy look anyway,
yep,
that it's probably easier for them to like kind of like the noise level filters pumped up on the movie that you could kind of sneak her in there. And when I watched this movie on my iPhone in the bed when I couldn't fall asleep when I was on vacation, it looked fine enough for me with my 3-inch screen, a couple inches from my eyeballs. I thought it looked fine. When they say when you're watching the phone, they go like, hey, it's so small. But you know what? When that screen's so close to your eyes, you might as well be in the movie theater.
Oh yeah.
You're pretty much at the movie theater at that point. It's a VR experience, when you're in the bed. It was like okay. I will point out one thing. I was away. We didn't do an episode last week, so and other people have pointed this out, which is fine. Mm-hmm. I was able to come up with this on my own. One of the biggest first of all, the plot is stupid. I mean, it's like, okay, the beginnings's awesome.
Oh yeah.
The show like that there was like this survivors and they escaped, and Vegas is now this kind of dead zone filled with zombies.
Yeah.
Which was kind of, I like the beginning. The beginning had a great setup. And then you find out later these people that were like, I guess they're considered expert zombie killers but now they're just like, I don't know, doing random bullshit. The guy's like works as a line cook in a diner in the middle of nowhere. I love when they do that dumb shit. Like,
right. Yeah.
It's like,
he once saved the defense secretary, but now he's like flipping eggs and sausages or whatever.
Yeah. Some guy, rich dude, approaches him and says like, it's like an insurance scheme basically where he got his money back, but there's still money sitting in him because you're not supposed to go into Vegas. So what if you sneak in and get $200 million? Oh, concept. I mean, it's like, okay, it's a heist movie. It's kind of silly because it's like, first of all, 200 million.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a
lot of money. But like, doesn't it feel like it isn't when you hear about like Elon Musk making, or like,
well, and the guy's got to split it like 7 ways, and it doesn't work out to be a lot of money.
How do you carry that out there, like physical weight? Like, I don't think people realize, even if like it was in 20s or hundreds, like $1 million is like a pallet of money.
Right. Like oh yeah, it's a lot of money.
I know we're sitting here like going like, are you here to tell me is this a magical xylophone? All right, that's fine. But I thought right off the bat, it was going to be like 200 million, like a super rich guy. They could probably make 200 million easily anywhere else. But then you find out it was a cover. Spoilers. Sorry, I'm going to spoil this movie that you could watch any goddamn time if you had Netflix. They really want to go in and get ahead of an alpha zombie. So like they kind of do some new stuff with these zombies. Like they're not typical zombies. I'm not gonna go into.
Didn't love that part of it, but it was fine. I mean, it was interesting.
It's so stupid because it's like, okay, so there's like this coyote, this woman that they use to get in. Why? So everything's illegal to begin with. You can't go into Vegas. Like if you got caught going to Vegas and you're like, oh no, we're just here to steal $200 million, and they'd be like, oh, that's fine. Go ahead. Boys will be boys and girls. But if you're like, no, we're actually here to take a zombie head, they'd be like, oh my God, no. Like you're breaking in. And so right off the bat, you know that there's a bad guy there because he's like, I'm going to send one of my guys. And I've seen that guy in lots of movies. I forgot the actor's name. He's really good in lots of stuff. He tends to play a piece of shit a lot, this guy.
Yeah. And it was obvious from the start. Like the Tig Notaro character even telegraphed that like 20 minutes into the movie. She's like, hey, he's here to do A, B, and C, you know? And it's like,
yeah, like, why don't you like
wait a minute, that's
but it's like then you find out like halfway through the movie that he's really there to get ahead of the alpha zombie and then they could weaponize and sell it to the military.
Yeah.
And that the whole heisting, ridiculous, complicated heisting was really just a cover for this guy to go in. But why? Well, why didn't he just leave immediately?
Yeah.
Because he could have just left right away and just been like, all right, got what I wanted. Have fun with your money or whatever.
Yeah.
Or two, why even do the heist? And just have this coyote lady who you find out has done multiple excerpts. This isn't her only time breaking in. You find out she's broken multiple times. There's actually a storyline with the daughter. I'm not even going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to save some woman. The coyote already tried sneaking in these women or like minutes before she snuck these people in.
Yeah.
Super stupid. And I know people are like, who cares? And you're right. Who gives a shit? Remember, this is a Zack Snyder film. It's a big fucking deal.
Well, and it had like legit actors in it, and I mean, it was like
a budget.
Yeah, it was a real production.
It was like something that could totally been in the movie theater. It actually could have been. I thought it looked really good. Again, it looked really good on my iPhone.
Yeah.
In the bed at 2 a.m. I thought it looked really good. But again, I just couldn't. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, that's so stupid. I mean, I get it, but it's like, and then the helicopter doesn't work. This is like all, I don't know. It was all right. I mean, what
Yeah.
did you say about this movie? You said that this was better than Olivier or something.
You know, I thought, you know, it
Better than
was
Star Wars.
honestly, it was exactly what I thought it would be, and I liked it a lot. And I watched it. I think it was a Saturday afternoon. Started around 2. Knocked back a few beers. At the end of it, I was like, that was a pretty okay movie, and then I went on with my life. You know, that's kind of
But I didn't, because I watched it in the middle of the night on my phone where I couldn't fall asleep.
Well, I'll tell you, I really got, here's where I went a little screwy over the last couple of weeks. I really started digging into Apple TV's catalog, and I watched all of For All Mankind, which is amazing. It's super good. And then I watched Ted Lasso, which was really funny.
That's
And
that guy from Sudeikis, I think.
yeah, Jason Sudeikis. And I guess season 2 comes out in like,
Supposedly it's a really good show.
it is. I mean, it's like, it's a good example of like a really good high quality network half-hour sitcom.
Well, a lot of these shows now, I mean, all these shows are, you wouldn't even know you wouldn't know you're watching on HBO. You wouldn't know if you're watching it on, like, it's the quality of a lot of these shows is definitely pushed. I always find it weird when Netflix puts on like a new studio audience type show. Like,
yeah,
I find it odd. It seems so antiquated. Like, why would we make a show like that? Like, those are made for like network TV. Like,
well, this feels like a network. It's not at all like it, but it feels like maybe The Good Place. You know, that's kind of like a high quality.
Right. But I'm talking about like a stupid, like, what they call it, like 3-camera sitcom.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Where they're clearly on a set and you hear ha 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 in the background.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do they make shows like that on Netflix for that? I find that so bizarre.
That was funny.
Like, it doesn't seem, it's such an antiquated thing, like, that you would see on like, yes. And even then, even now when you watch it on network TV, you're like, shit seems antiquated.
It does. I remember and the other one I watched was Calls on Apple TV. And it's weird. It should have been a podcast, but it's like just phone calls, and it tells a story in like these 8 or 9 episode phone calls. And the Mandalorian's in it, Pedro Pascal. And
I was gonna say the Mandalorian's in it would be even better.
The woman from Parks and Rec, Aubrey
Grogu.
Well, anyway, so I was binging all these Apple shows, and in the midst of all that, I took like 2 hours out of my day, or actually like 3 hours out of my day, to watch Army of the Dead, and it was fun. It was like I'd been watching like, kind of highbrow, things
I liked about the movie. One, I thought it looked decent. I liked the way it looked. I liked the people in it. Some of the characters were kind of stupid. It was a complete ripoff of Aliens.
Yeah.
Leave that for the podcast we're never going to do on this movie. There's some cool things. I like the main zombie, how he wears a helmet and he has a cape.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Is it stupid? Yes, it's very stupid. It makes no sense, but it was awesome. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't he just eat these fucking women? That why, like, the plot tells him he can't, like, oh, I will not eat these women I have held hostage. It doesn't, like, that's super dumb. There's some things that they do in the movie that they never, like,
oh yeah, like
dried up zombies that were like all cooked from like the A-bomb they dropped, and they're like, oh, but when it rains, they kind of like.
I thought that was a great idea that never really went anywhere.
Yeah, it was like, what are you doing? See, then supposedly there's like robot zombies, supposedly.
Yeah. Well, and then there's that one scene where
space, there might be aliens.
Well, there's that one scene where they say maybe they're in a time loop. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's stupid. Wait, what do you mean? How are they in a time loop?
Like in the very beginning, not like again, half hour into it, and when they're going into the safe, the one guy's like, he sees all the adventurers that died trying to break in.
Yeah,
and they look like they have the same jewelry on and stuff. And
yeah, I get that, but there was a bomb that went off in the end, and everything was destroyed. And that one guy, that was the other problem with this movie. This reminded me of the Snyder cut of the movie.
Yeah,
where it was like, okay, you have this like stupid ending with with Drax the Destroyer and, and his hot daughter, and 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 his hot daughter wouldn't listen to him, and now he's dead, and it's all her fault. She makes all really bad decisions.
Yeah, a lot.
I mean, he made bad decisions too. The movie like has his ending and it's done, but then it like does this weird thing with the one guy who survives in the safe.
Oh yeah,
he has this awesome weapon that he never uses. He has this like crazy chainsaw, never uses it in the movie. Like, and then this is like weird, like what he does next. Like, first of all, somehow he survives a nuclear fallout. I guess he was in the safe, but like, I guess he can walk through Vegas in the fallout out of Vegas and end up, I don't know, whatever. He's on a private jet, and then he find out he was bit by a zombie, and I guess it took a while for him to get.
Yeah.
It's such an odd ending because it's like,
well,
I don't know.
Theoretically, he's going to go to Mexico and infect people, right? I mean,
I guess, but like, why not just do what, like, you know, do the credits and then do a mid-credit.
Yeah.
So with that, therefore, it doesn't affect the movie. That's my issue. I had with the Snyder Cut too. It was like, you had this great ending where they defeated, I don't know, whatever that guy with the horns was, Hornhead.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hornhead, I know it was. It was Gustav, I think. Gustav the Destroyer, I think, or Zoloff.
Zoloff the Destroyer.
Zoloff the Magnificent. Gets his head chopped off. Darkseid steps on it, and it's a cool ending, right? And
yeah.
Happy, and they're all heroic poses. But then like there's followed by a very bizarre, awkward nightmare sequence with Jared Leto telling Batman that he's going to give him a
yeah.
And I was like, this is where you do the credits, and like you do like the cool credits with like the animations, you just watch Justice League, and then you do your mid credit scene, and that's when you can have your weird dream sequence. Doesn't affect the end of the movie,
right? It's like tacked on at the end. Yeah,
it's not. You got close. You saw the movie. It's over. And, now you're seeing a little bonus thing. Well, I don't know why he doesn't do that. And he's the professional. I'm not. I don't know how to make these things. I'm just a guy. I'm just, some could say, oh, you're Monday night quarterbacking, but I could also see when things go wrong too, like
right.
You shouldn't smash into a wall or.
Well, aren't they making a prequel to this? I think they are.
I mean, whatever. If they put it on Netflix, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah.
So, I guess. All right. So we talked way too long about it. I wanted to talk about one other thing real quick. I didn't see the movie, but there's a movie called Girl Joker that just came out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. I've heard about this.
Starring Sharon Stone, I think.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone's Girl Joker, right? Is that it?
It's not Sharon Stone. It's Emma Stone. And it's not Girl Joker. It is Cruella.
Cruella, like, is that her name and she becomes the Girl Joker?
Cruella DeVille. She becomes a puppy killing coat wearer later in life.
Why would they make a movie about a lady that wanted to turn up? This is the character from a Disney cartoon?
Yes, it is.
He wanted to turn 101 Dalmatians into a coat.
Right. One coat.
Yeah, one big fluffy coat.
That's a lot of Dalmatians.
That's a lot of Dalmatian dads. I mean, you're wasting fur. You clearly maybe she's making wallets and like lining her bag, pocketbooks. Who knows? I mean, there could be a lot of stuff involved.
Right.
So they made a. You didn't see it? Did you see it?
No. My kid wanted to see it, but it was like $30, and I said, maybe when it's free. So.
Maybe when it's free, I'll consider it. When it doesn't cost me anything.
Well, already, my monthly subscription to Disney Plus, it's like $5.
Yeah, what the fuck? And then they're like, "Here, you want to spend $30 to watch girl Joker. No, I heard.
Right.
Okay, here's the thing. I heard the movie is pretty good. I just can't get over the concept of it. I think it's like, I mean, they did this kind of with the lady in the witch in that movie where the girl goes to sleep.
Oh,
Mal,
Maleficent.
I was gonna say malnourishment. Malnourishment. It's a movie about people aren't fed properly.
Right, right.
Disney presents malnourishment.
Sure.
No, yeah. So they're like, why don't we make a movie? And it's like super cool. It takes place in the 70s and she's all punk and shit. And it's like, wait, so we're just gonna learn why she just turned, like, I'm sorry, but like if I saw like the crazy cat lady on the street who hoards cats and has flat cats in the wall, I don't really, I mean, like,
yeah.
How did she get there? What made her that way? I mean, I guess it's interesting. I don't know if I want to spend $30 to see that story.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You know,
now,
it's
I just think, again, the movie could be amazing. I've heard pretty good things from people and stuff, but I just think the initial concept is really stupid. Like,
yeah,
I feel like 10 years ago, we used to see a lot of these like Funny or Die videos. And they would have like a lot of these like fake trailers, fake movies.
Oh yeah,
like ideas that are like, oh yeah, this is like really stupid, but wouldn't it be really funny if we like made a fake trailer for a movie about something that's ridiculous? Like that would be ridiculous. Like, oh, we're gonna turn this into a 2-hour movie and spend hundreds of millions of dollars on it. And they're like, you know what? We are.
Yeah, I will see it. Look, I like Emma Stone a lot. I think she's super pretty, and I kind of like her as an actor and everything. But I don't really see where this is going to be too appealing. Plus, like, she winds up trying to kill puppies, which is,
well, I mean, here's the thing I heard, and no joke, I saw the clip.
Yeah.
Spoilers if you didn't see Cruella.
Yeah.
Her mom was killed by Dalmatians.
Oh, jeez.
Her mom was killed. No, there's like a story. There's this character called the Baroness that's like the villain played by something Richardson, I think her name is. I don't know. She's a famous British actress.
Yeah, sure.
She's the Baroness, and I guess she's evil. So it's like a little bit of Devil Wears Prada and a little bit of the Joker, a little bit Desperately Seeking Susan.
Yeah, all right, I can see that.
I just made that up. I
a
little bit of Mannequin 2 on the move.
Nice, Kim Cattrall. Always good.
I was gonna say Meshach Taylor, but sure.
Well, yeah,
not in Mannequin 2 on the
I could see a Desperately Seeking Susan vibe from this though, just because of the
it's like punk looking,
punky Madonna-ish. Yeah.
Again, I just can't get over the initial concept. Now, I said the same thing about like the Joker, but I'll be honest with you, like I like the Joker movie, but I think the world would have been fine if they never made a Joker movie.
Oh yeah, the Joker movie was super unessential, but it was good. I mean,
I liked about the different. Okay, here's the thing I liked about the Joker movie, though. At the end of the day, I don't think they ever made him into a hero in any way, even though you kind of root for him a little bit because he's in the story. The main villain of the Joker movie, which I like, and I don't think people, they always like. I hated when it was coming out. And people were like, "Oh, this is a incel." They were trying to like tie it to Trump people.
Right.
It was like the complete fucking opposite. First of all, the whole movie is he's a victim of austerity.
Yeah, and it's Bruce Wayne's dad is the
meds. What?
Yeah. Bruce Wayne's dad is the villain.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne's dad's a dick. He's but he's part of the system, and the system they put in austerity measures, which cut off funding, which made Arthur not get his meds, which made Arthur go crazy.
Yeah.
Therefore, society created the Joker. I kind of like that. I thought that was like kind of cool.
It was clever.
Yeah. Now, maybe society created a Cruella.
Could have been. I don't know. I mean, I'll see it. I could be like, I'd be glad to be wrong. I don't have super.
Again, it could be the best movie in the world, but I don't care because I will always laugh at the fact that they made a movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, they're gonna make. They just announced they're gonna make. What's her name from fucking? what is it? The Little Mermaid, the
Oh,
bad.
Ursula.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
all right. Yeah.
Hey, listen. You know what, man? It's desperate for content.
Yeah.
Now you can say like, oh yeah, you've seen like Star Wars and endless. Yeah, that's a whole galaxy of That's a galaxy far away.
Yeah.
You can
Well, and clearly now that they've shown you can tell a lot of stories in that universe.
Right. You just gotta put a little Grogu in there. All right. So yeah, so I went away.
Oh yeah, yeah. You took a vacation.
Yeah. We went to New Mexico. Went to Carlsbad Cavern. That was really
Nice.
awesome. I highly recommend that. I don't know if you've ever been in a cavern before.
I went to Luray Caverns, which is, I think that's in Virginia.
I went to one in Colorado Springs, and I went to one in Shasta Mountains in California, and those were cool. But I've never seen anything like this. This thing is massive.
Yeah, it is. I just
Carlsbad
Googled it.
Cavern.
It's Luray Caverns in Virginia, but Carlsbad is supposed to be the big one, like the big. OG.
It is insane. I have never seen anything like this. It was. I highly recommend it. Now the town of Carlsbad.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, your town. You know what? I'm not even gonna say anything. It's not that great. The Cavern's awesome. Cavern's great.
New Mexico is an odd state. Like I like it a lot. I lived in Arizona for a while and we'd go into New Mexico sometimes, but there's a lot of not much there in New Mexico.
There's a lot of like Santa Fe. We went to Santa Fe. Santa Fe was nice. We went to Meow Wolf again. Meow Wolf is awesome. We went there a couple of years ago, and we went back there because they like updated it. They're opening one up in Denver. I think it's awesome. I definitely want to check it out. They have one in Vegas, but I just really don't want to deal with Vegas.
Yeah.
And then we went to like Taos. We saw the Rio Grande, I guess we're going over the bridge. Went to this bizarre, like, I can't even, what is this called? It's like a weird futuristic village or something. Houses where you really shit and create things with your poop. No, I mean, you're not like sitting there molding and everything.
Sure.
Everything's like recycled, like it collects rainwater.
Yeah.
Reservoir.
There's a lot of those biosphere communities out there and stuff.
That's what it's called. Did you see the pictures I posted?
I saw the photos you posted, and
I went to a Star Wars. It did. It looked like a little bit like it was in looked like I was in a Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't think I could live like that. You know.
Yeah.
I wrote something on it, and some guy wrote on it, and like these people, like I don't know, Twitter's odd, like how people could find you if certain keywords show up. Like someone was looking up bio, whatever you just said. And I don't know how many people post that a day, and they found my tweet, and they left some good information. The guy said, I said, I'm like, would anyone legitimately live there? And the guy said, yeah, he lived in one for a couple of years. Thankfully, he didn't live in one in the desert, or he lived in mountains, so like water was like a little more abundant and stuff like that. But you know, it's a lot of work. I don't know. Then what else did we do? Oh, we went to Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
We almost got killed. That was fun. We almost got killed. We were driving slowly down the street, and a guy decided to dart out of the parking lot in his pickup truck. Almost, and literally, like not just driving straight into oncoming traffic. Like,
wow.
There's no blind spot. There's nothing. And I'm watching it. I'm like, oh my God. Thankfully, nobody was in front of me. I was able to speed and swerve away. This motherfucker came really close into smashing into me. It was really scary. It was like the last day of our trip. And then I was trying to find a place and park so we can, calm down. And this guy was like almost like following us. And I'm like, does he want to just kill us?
Right. Yeah.
And he drove away, thankfully. But that was scary. Roswell's besides that near-death experience, or I don't know if we die, but it definitely would have sucked.
Near suck experience, sure.
Yeah, totally suck experience. Like that guy would have fucked our car up and would have made life very difficult for us. If I don't recommend getting into a car wreck. I don't think anyone can. I
Right.
think, a lot of things are partisan these days. Polarizing. But I think we can all agree on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to be in a car wreck.
Mitch McConnell would veto that.
Yeah. What about crash test dummies? Crash test dummies. He goes on TV and he's like, I think Americans want to crash into things.
Yeah, literally dresses as a crash test dummy.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson's like, are you telling me that the public, they're trying to take away car wrecks from you? Hey, the Jews are trying to take away car wrecks from you.
Well,
I mean, that's what Tucker Carlson says every night, right?
Yeah.
We know what he means when he says that.
Roswell would be super fun now because I believe like within a few weeks they're going to release all that UFO data.
It wasn't very fun. I did find some old Moon Knight comic stuff for cheap. That was cool. Oh,
really? That's funny.
Yeah, I went to some antique stuff. We went to the I highly recommend the Roswell McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
It is a spaceship. It's
nice. Oh, really cool. Yeah, I saw a photograph of that. Yeah.
Itself is
Sure.
You don't need more than a day in there. It's definitely a stop, or if you're like, we stayed one night. It was our last night. There was a storm that came through. And there's a lot of windstorm. Like, I never really seen this before. Like sandstorms. When we were driving from Albuquerque back to Santa Fe, because we went to Albuquerque.
Oh yeah.
We went up a mountain. That was really cool. In a tram. That was like a lot of fun. But there was a sandstorm, and I was like, oh my God, these are frightening. And then it rained. We were at our hotel in Roswell. And we were going to go back out, but we were looking out the window. It was like really freaking windy. It was blowing. It was raining. And I was like, whoa, that looks bad. It eventually stopped, and we went out to eat, and the whole entire town smelled like horse shit.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, whoa, how is nobody fazed by this? This is putrid. This is, this isn't good. Now, I know Tucker Carlson will be on TV and say that they're trying to cancel your horse manure town smell. But, I think we could all agree that is not a good smell.
It was, I lived in Flagstaff, Arizona for a few years, and on the way into town, like 10 miles outside of town, there's a giant Purina factory. And the entire it smelled like dog food, like dry dog food, like a big old bag of Purina. You open it up and stick your head in it. It smelled like
delicious.
Strong, like super strong, and there was like a fine resin in the air, like a soot or something that was essentially the dog food anti-caking stuff. And after a while, you just got like used to it. And like when people would come out to see you, they're like, what the fuck did I just drive through? It's like a dog food storm.
Years ago. I think there was a story about what's that spicy sauce people like to put on it? It's like
sriracha.
Yeah, especially like a sriracha factory, and people were like dying, like where the whole town just smelled like sriracha. But years ago in New York City, one day in New York City, the city just smelled like maple syrup. And it was freaking everyone out because it wasn't long after it wasn't many years after 9/11. And we were like, is this like a gas attack?
Oh, geez.
I don't think they ever explained the maple syrup smell. I bet you could Google search New York City smells like maple syrup. Circa early 2000s. It's like pleasant, but like, are we going to die? Like, it doesn't smell like bum piss. It smells like maple syrup, and that's not right.
Well, I'll take that over the fucking dog chow.
Or horse shit in the air. That the entire town smelled like horse shit. Yeah. When we went to Lubbock, Texas, on the way home, we stopped there.
Nice. Yeah.
Buddy Holly statue.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was good to get out. I won't say this about New Mexico. Like Santa Fe is really pretty. I highly recommend going. I highly recommend going to Meow Wolf if you go there. I recommend Carlsbad Cavern is amazing. They're 5 hours apart, so that's not a. I'm not going to tell you go to Santa Fe to go to Carlsbad Cavern. It's really disappointing when you find out you got to drive like 5 hours.
Yeah.
But New Mexico, the governor and the state actually like did a really good job with COVID.
Yeah.
They reached herd immunity. There's people there that are crazy. I wouldn't say it was definitely not a liberal bastion. It is a blue state.
Yeah.
Compared to Texas again, but like when we were in Roswell, I went to some like little antique store, and ooh, my God, that was bad. Like,
I'll bet.
They had a whole Confederate flag section. They had it was really bad. MAGA hats, everything. A lot of misinformation, a lot of weird contradicting information. But like they were horrible. That store was awful. But like pretty much everyone wears masks. They respect it. It's not a big fucking deal. People get vaccinated. It's not this. Their politicians there, I guess, don't like. Supposedly the governor was an epidemiologist or something like that.
Oh, okay, sure.
I think she takes it very seriously. And they're opening up. Like we ate out for the first time in like a year and a half. Like we ate outdoors, a little bit indoors, but they're 50%. They're not, because I'm like, we're vaccinated. It's the areas. I don't think I wouldn't eat out where we live. I still wouldn't, not yet.
We haven't, I don't know, to be honest, like now I'm to the point where I'm not going to eat out.
Well, there's nothing here that like I can even give a shit about eating out.
No, I take that back. We ate outdoors a couple of weeks ago, in an outdoor area, and it was like like an odd time, and there's no one there.
You go ahead.
No, I was going to say I talked to you. It was a pizza place.
And, yeah, that's right. We've eaten at like at the zoo outdoors.
Yeah.
We've eaten things outdoors and everything, but I mean, I'm talking about indoor. I'm not doing indoor dining.
I don't think I'm going to do it in general.
Vacation, it's really tough. Like eating out is like part of vacation.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, what are you going to like?
I mean, you could just get some food. You don't have to make a big deal about that. That's why, some of it, whatever. It's a thing, but I felt more comfortable there. But it's like tough because like Lee and I are vaccinated. My kid isn't vaccinated.
Right.
That's the thing I don't like about this. I wish the vaccinations were there for kids.
Yeah.
They're not there yet. I feel like I would feel more, feel better. I would like
for sure.
Have it, I feel like it would allow us to do more things. I see parents, like some parents, like their kids wearing a mask and the parents aren't. I'm like, the fuck? Don't be a dipshit around your kid. Like,
right. You should wear it just to like help the kid out. I don't know. Not
just that. You could still like kind of, I don't know, whatever.
Who knows? I mean,
shedding. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
well, regardless, it just, while we were there too, we were unfortunately looking at the news and we were seeing all these horrific things.
Yeah.
And the GOP were trying to push through.
Right.
It was making us not want to drive home.
Oh yeah. Right.
I mean, no offense to New Mexico. I don't know if that's a state I would want to live. My wife loves Santa Fe. She could live there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm whatever. But it just really, I feel like the Republicans here in like Florida, they're like trying to ramp shit up.
Yeah.
So they can cause problems for later or try to get things to the right-wing Supreme Court. They have little schemes, yeah, go ahead.
I think they know their time is short. And I tweeted this today or yesterday, something like Democrats have won the popular vote nationally 7 out of the last 8 times.
Yeah.
And the margins are getting bigger and people are getting more and more Democratic or more progressive or whatever you want to call it. And the ideas the Republicans have are getting less and less popular. They're done. Their time is done. They're dinosaurs. And they are going through all the little tricks they can to keep in power, and it's working. I mean, it's the system's designed to like let them do that.
Yeah,
But
gerrymandering and
even that's not going to last forever. Eventually you're going to get to a point where even the previously conservative districts are going to start wanting some pretty progressive things, and it's their position is untenable. So you see them now trying to throw up ropes in the air and try to make these big structural changes before the tide turns. That's why they want, abortion relitigated. That's why they want, trans persons excluded from. They want to make it.
The trans thing is just so. It is like it just reeks.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Of bullying. Well, the worst is like what was it? Ron DeSantis signed that thing, which is Florida, but whatever. Yeah. They're all like kind of thinking the same. On the first day of Pride, he signs into a anti-trans thing, and he claims that he uses protecting women or protecting girls, and it's the most disgusting. This is like QAnon shit. These motherfuckers, they don't really give a fuck about girls. They don't give a fuck about kids. These people, like, you got guys like Matt Gaetz still out there.
Yeah.
Who are, like, they're still in power. They're not getting edited out and having Tig Notaro take their place. They stay in office and they get to go on tour with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now imagine if Kristen Lilla was like, I'm going to go on tour with, I don't know, Kevin Spacey, and people are like rooting him on. And people would be like, ew, that's gross. But what if they just said they're Republicans, and then all of a sudden now they're showing up at QAnon rallies and everyone's like, yay! Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck?
I saw, and I knew this, and this isn't an original thought, but someone, political commentator the other day said that, like, why are Republicans so good at stuff like this is that they make appeals, real broad appeals, easy to understand appeals geared towards people's hearts and emotions.
Well, yeah. So they claim that, like, Democrats and left or whatever people use culture war.
Right. And the average guy on the street doesn't, like, they don't want to have someone patiently explain to them, trans rights and how they don't want that. They just hear like boy and girls locker room bad. And that's how that's what they.
Or like boy wants to try to wrestle your daughter.
Yeah. And you can explain to them all you want that's not what's happening. But like it's not going to sink through because you're making an intellectual argument, and they've already been swayed by the emotional argument.
And the thing is too is that, again, they're full of shit. They're the ones pushing a culture war. They're the ones.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't matter because they beat the Democrats to the punch. They beat them to the punch with the quick emotional grab, and then it's hard to rewrite that narrative.
Here's another one. Like, hey, I don't know what politics I want to do. I just was born yesterday, and I can't make a decision. All right, here we go. Well, on this side, you can just tune in and, Rush Limbaugh's dead, but whatever. The ghost of listen to Rush Limbaugh, and he'll invite you in, and you could become a right winger. Okay. Or go here and, did you read Marxist theory?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Have you read this? Have you read that? That person's gonna be like, I'm gonna go there. Now, if you, I'm being really broad here, but like, I mean, one side is like, yeah, come in. We were glad to have you because we want to increase our numbers so that we could win election. Spread our evil. Well, the other side's like, if you don't reach a certain intellectual thing. Now that's a more extreme left, I think.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Look at the stuff here in Texas. We had a slew of horrible legislation rammed through, and some of it passed and some of it didn't. But they tried a trans sports bill here, and it failed. And they now there's this constitutional carry thing so that anyone can have any gun.
That's insane.
Without any training or license or anything.
Come on, any person with like even a 40 IQ would know that's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
Like Okay, here's the argument they always say, like, oh, we need mental health, right? Oh, mental health. And these motherfuckers they don't want to deal with mental health. The same people pushing guns, they don't really care about mental health. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. If you got a bunch of crazy people out there, supposedly, right? You have
Oh,
you
yeah.
say you have a true mental health problem.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't make it so easy for them to get guns.
Well, I don't know.
I know they could say, oh, they could use a car, they could use a knife, they could do that. Yeah, they could use a knife, but like, are they gonna go slaughter 1,000 people? Or like, you're gonna slaughter 60 people in a matter of a minute?
They're not gonna open fire from the 5th story of an office building with a knife. They're not gonna, and like people scattering below.
Get my knife gun. I'm shooting knives.
Well, it seems like whenever you talk about gun legislation or whatever, the NRA and their ghouls will come out there and say, hey, we make sure people use them responsibly and we do education. And they've kind of like even abandoned any pretense of that. Well, anyway, they did the gun thing, and then they did this voter. This is the worst one. The voter, they did this big voter suppression package, and it's just awful. And now,
well, doesn't that voter suppression thing also like basically allow a governor to just throw out an election?
it
Like
allows judges to just throw an election.
Yeah, so if you have like a right-wing court, they could just literally throw out an election. They could have the thinnest of proof or whatever and claim, like, so you could have Trump go and be like, do you see Dominion? And then the judge be like, okay, I threw out the case.
Stunning, because I mean, just like at face value, this seems like a horrible idea. Here's the things that were in the voting thing that they tried to push. First was that you can't vote on Sundays till after 1 p.m. which was just like a hardcore, like, we don't want black churches voting.
Yeah, that, and it's also just pushing a Christian theology. Yeah. Like, sorry, not everybody. Like,
it was specifically to stop, like, a black church they'd have a service in the morning, everyone would get on a bus, and then they'd go vote. And
I mean, I think it's that. It's just bullshit too, because a lot of people are off Sunday. You're attacking the working class. You're attacking people who work 9 to 5.
Well, now a lot of these people are out there saying, "Oh, well, that was a typo. We meant to say 11." But like, what the fuck does that matter? Why can't you vote 24 hours a day?
Yeah, you should be able to fucking vote whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah. So there is that, and then the
second. I mean, you know what I mean.
Well, the second one was that you can't drive more than 2 people unrelated to you to a polling place.
That is like
so bizarre.
That sounds like some bizarre, antiquated shit. Like, if you throw a can down the street and it flips 3 times, that's a crime.
Right. Or like, yeah, you can't have a dog named Blue, or something like that. It's like,
no, I promise you, the dog's name is Lou, but it's spelled different. Okay,
right. The B is silent. The B
is like, what the? Okay, so you drive them. What they're gonna have to have now a cop check how many people are in your car. Like, that's insane. That is fucking insane.
And then the other one, which was really weird, is that that political parties could appoint poll watchers that could have unfettered access to the
Proud Boys. You can allow the Proud Boys,
and they could film you while you're voting.
That's illegal.
No, not if that passes in Texas. So here's the weird thing, like, and the judges could overturn elections if they felt it was fraudy. So I can't imagine that. I mean, like, Houston is like reasonably liberal, and so is Dallas, and they probably have some liberal judges. Why would they do that? Why would they let judges do that unless they're specifically trying to destroy confidence in democracy?
Well, that is the main goal. I mean, that's what Trump does. Trump, when he was running, right, even when when Clinton and them were debating in the end in 2016, they asked him a simple question: would you accept your loss? And he was like, no. That right up there, he's already destroying confidence in our electoral system. He knew exactly what he was doing. The Republicans knew that a lot of people, especially on the more liberal left side of things, felt when Bush stole the election in 2000 that was literally the beginning and the end of our democracy. but they take that kind of like I don't know the word I'm looking for, but like that feeling that it's not right, but they use it for like the opposite end. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, and then and now they're like trying, they're just trying to destroy. These guys don't believe in democracy. A lot of these people.
No.
If they've done polls with like Trump supporters and stuff, they would have been happy if Trump stayed in office until like they could have made him like the sun god. They would be fine.
Well, they would have wanted him to pass the throne down to one of his children.
Yeah, like honestly, they would be totally fine with that. They would just be like, whatever. They would go about their day.
Well,
and they really don't believe in democracy. No. It is really bizarre.
But the second thing is, I mean, theoretically, let's say this law somehow passes. Does that mean, I mean, I think it means that I could get a video camera and head down to South Lake or Grapevine and bust into the polling place and start causing havoc.
I mean, you probably could. I mean, I think it might not like the results, but yeah, you could.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I could theoretically, I mean, like, or maybe not me, but like, what good is going to come of this?
It is creating election chaos.
Yeah,
it's like
if you let the Proud Boys,
voting, it's destroying the integrity of our elections.
That's
to make sure it's to make sure that people don't want to vote, make sure people don't want to participate.
Yeah,
sure, turn people off from politics, turn people off from being involved. Like the fact that they want to make it super easy for anyone to get a gun, they want to make it really hard to vote. Now I know that is insane. Like being allowed to vote, it should be the fucking easiest thing. They should have fucking same day registration. I think it's complete horse shit. And every time they find out voter fraud, you find out usually it's some fucking guys trying to use his dead wife to vote for Trump. Like most of the time, especially in like the national elections and stuff, you always find out some fucking Republicans
the only time I've ever heard of any voter fraud is when it's a Republican operative trying to vote 6 times for Trump, and that's like 95% of them. And the other 5% is like an 80-year-old elderly woman who voted in the same location for 90 years. Well, 70 years. And
she's a time traveler too.
And then they move her polling location and she shows up at the same place and votes in the wrong location. That's the only time I've ever heard of any voting fraud, if you want to even call
they've been trying to make a big deal about voter fraud for years. I've seen the right wing push this, and it's good. They do this because they're basically telling you they don't take elections seriously. Or they do take it seriously in that they don't want you to win. I think the Democrats did the best thing. I think the National Democrat Party or whatever, the people in it, need to learn from the Texas Democrats. I think.
Oh God, yeah.
I think what they did was great. I think it backfired on Abbott because it made him look like a fucking ass. And all he did was, what did he do? He increased donations to the Democratic Party now.
I'm 100% convinced that all Democrats need to do is worry about protecting the right to vote. That's the only issue they really need to work on.
Well, we're not going to be able to do that with people like Sinema and Manchin. But I just want to show you something else, because we were talking about like how they're targeting trans people, which I think is really bizarre because it just all that comes off is like it's bullying. That's literally how and all these fucking Republicans that go after trans people. It's such a margin, like it is such a micro-targeted, like you're like micro-targeting people. Like I'm gonna make sure this trans girl can't participate in sport.
Can't run track.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Right.
Leave this kid alone, you sick fuck.
Yeah.
Like what? Fucking Ron DeSantis is signing a bill to protect. No, he's not. He's just bullying some trans kids. He's a piece of shit. That's all he is. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. It's fucking bullying. Like the other day, we saw Elliot Page, who, he is Elliot Page.
Yeah.
And that's how he wants that. That's it. And he posted a picture of himself, and he's like super jacked. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like 4'11", I think, and weighs like probably could kick the shit out of me.
Right.
But some right-wing asshole, I forgot his name, whatever, he tweets this thing like, I can knock him out or something. Or like,
Nice.
all it'll take me is one hit and like I will floor Elliot or something. And I'm like, one, weird.
Yeah.
Like that's, you see a picture of Elliot Page with his ripped abs, and your first reaction is like, well, what your first reaction be like, who's that? Oh, that's Elliot. Oh, okay.
Right.
Cool. Good for you, Elliot. And then you move on with your day. But if your reaction is, oh yeah, I could fucking take him. One punch, fucking send Elliot right on the fucking floor, I will.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, what is wrong with you? Are you
That's
mentally
just like
ill?
some weird sex rage.
Like, yeah, like did you like have a thing for Ellen Page or something, and it makes you super crazy? Like, does it bother you? Like, are you threatened by Elliot Page? Like, fuck off, dude. You have like, you need to get checked out. Like, you need to look inside of you and go, why do I have a blue check mark? I always love when right wingers claim about blue check marks when a lot of them have blue check marks. And I have a blue check mark, and I'm tweeting that I could take Elliot Page with one punch. That is so weird and sad.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him. I just think it's like pathetic.
It is weird. I mean, they're probably like hurt and twisted in their own way, but I don't know. The trans.
Hey bros, where's my bros at?
The fixation on trans kids, the fixation on pumping guns into the world, all that kind of shit. All of those things could be solved if the Democrats just focused on protecting the right to vote. Because if you give everyone the right to vote, and let me back up here. If you anyone who is legally able to vote, if you protect their right to vote and you encourage it and you make it easy for them to vote, Democratic issues will win every time.
And they know that. That's why they don't want it.
There will be fewer guns in schools. So I don't know why Democrats worry about trying to stop guns in schools or trying to like stop some fucking hillbilly, moron from targeting trans kids. I'm not saying those things aren't important, but I'm saying if you protect the right to vote, the people will do the heavy lifting for you. The people will.
I mean, you do have to get it out there and oppose them, because you have to, make sure people know that we support you. We have your back.
Yeah, no, I guess I'm oversimplifying.
But I know what you're saying. But if there's no election, thank you for the support, but we're all fucked because these guys are in power now forever. And
the corollary
all we can do is just boo them. What?
The other side to that is that fucking people got to vote. I mean, like it's even if Texas put up their horrible voting laws, voting happens once fucking every 2 years. Figure it out, and then throw these shitheads out of office and elect people that'll let you vote. But it doesn't
happen every year. We had an election here locally for the school, and like that had like dire effects. I mean, the governor decided in the end to just make the decision, but voting in those type of people on the board was basically the town saying we support this culture.
That's this true.
Culture is actually the national, the state level, which is the governor supports this. So it is important to vote. I think it's important to, it is every year. You should participate in as many elections as possible. And here's the thing too about I want to play this one video soon, but the thing about the guns availability thing is so scary. But like I say, if your argument is that mentally ill people and we need to do something about it, but here's this easy access to weapons. I remember, I think it was Ozzy Osbourne who said, no. He said something about the hardest thing he had to do to break of his addictions. The hardest one, smoking.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
You can get it anywhere. He can get cigarettes. He literally at the time period could have gotten cigarettes anywhere. It's like heroin. You gotta know a guy.
Right.
You gotta know a guy to get things like cocaine. I imagine you had weed back then. I imagine weed's a lot easier now, but still, you know somebody.
Yeah.
Cigarettes, though, go anywhere and get it. So if you're mentally, if you want to do something, you want to get killed by a cop after getting killed, after killing people, maybe we should make it so fucking easy for these people to get a gun, any kind of gun. I think it, and at the end of the day, like, I'm so sick of this argument. Like, I've seen arguments where people are like, well, I would have voted for the Democrats if they were for gun. Bullshit. You would not. No. There's no fucking way you are voting Republican based on the gun thing, because you're telling me that your gun is so important to you that you don't give a shit about healthcare, the environment.
Yeah. And I have never seen I've never seen a Democrat say that we're going to take all guns. It's just it's a completely imaginary thing. I've seen Democrats say, you shouldn't be able to own a Tech 9 or an AK-47.
Yeah, like there's certain weapons you shouldn't be allowed to own.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I support that and all that. But like,
I'll be honest with you, I still don't understand the fascination of guns. I don't get it. I think it started with people as children. It's everything's kind of starts with children. I mean, fuck. Everything is you're shown violence as a kid and you become a little desensitized to it.
Yeah.
But they don't want you to see things like, sex of any kind. They make that but
I mean, little kids are taught to idolize soldiers and cops.
That have guns.
Yeah.
It's like our culture is completely enamored by it. But I think, again, I don't believe anyone that says that they would not vote for the Democratic Party because of that. I mean, really? That's it? No, that's bullshit. That is complete horseshit. You're voting for the Republicans because you like the Republicans. You like their issues. You don't believe in,
or more specifically, you don't like some other people.
Yeah, exactly. You have a grievance against other people. Now, you don't believe in science. Don't tell me this bullshit about I refuse to vote for the Democrats because they, like you said, they want to take a certain weapon that no person should have because it's stupid and ridiculous off the market. Bullshit. I call bullshit on you. You were never going to vote for a Democrat or a progressive to begin with. That is such horseshit. Like, when I would hear Bill O'Reilly would say dumb shit like that. Like, I don't know who I'm going to. I remember listening to him in 2004 and he's like, well, I haven't made my decision.
Right.
I'm going to vote for. Am I going to vote for Bush? Or am I going to vote for Kerry? Am I just going to go sexually harass women at the job? I'm going to talk about falafel. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He was a real moderate,
Sure.
real down the middle. And, I will say this, though. I almost think the country would be better if Bill O'Reilly was still in his position and Tucker Carlson was in his.
That could be, yeah.
Because Tucker Carlson has Bill O'Reilly's spot. That's basically, he took his place.
Right.
And Tucker Carlson is
a lot worse, yeah.
Tucker Carlson is fucking horrible. I can't imagine Bill O'Reilly. Who knows? He probably would have anyway because he didn't give a fuck. He was a soulless goblin too. But I just can't picture him pushing anti-vaccination shit the way Tucker is. I don't know. I mean, he's a piece of shit. He probably would have, but I don't know. Tucker is has a more he's just a more of a forked tongue. The way he speaks is it's just so it's awful. It's mean.
It's awful.
More venomous than even O'Reilly ever was. O'Reilly was terrible. O'Reilly got abortion doctors killed and shit.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so I don't know. That's an issue, but I want to play this video. This is one of the horrible things in Texas. They were pushing this thing is the heartbeat bill.
Yeah.
Which basically says after 6 weeks can't get abortion. I mean, it's insane because most women don't even know they're pregnant until sometimes 2, even 3 months into pregnancy.
It can be a while.
And most doctors won't even see you before 6 weeks. They won't.
Yeah. Well, you got to figure a lot of people, the first inkling they have that they might be pregnant is when they miss their period. And so that's at least 4 weeks, right? And then you got to get an appointment. I mean, it's.
My wife knew we were that she was pregnant with Roger. She got sick a little bit, and we realized that. And that was like 7-8 weeks in.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know. I just think it's it's not good. It opens the door for all kinds of shit. It's an attack on women's body autonomy. But here's this is woman named, well, I mean, she's a teenager. She just graduated high school. Backstory, Paxton Smith, and she did something really good. She had to, they have to deliver their speeches before they say it,
right?
So it gets approved. And I guess she, she's very smart, so she did a little switcheroo on them.
Yeah. They said she tucked the
What?
Oh, I was gonna say they said she tucked her real speech in her bra, and when she got up there, she like discarded her prepared remarks and busted out her Handmaid's Tale opus. So it was just
okay. All right. Well, this is the speech. It's like a minute long, so I'm just gonna play it.
Yeah.
And it's really good. It kind of sums up everything, because at the end of the day, it's not up to me.
Right.
It's not. And also, I'm a middle-aged guy already. We're not having any of the kids, and like whatever. It doesn't matter.
But I have dreams and hopes
and
ambitions. Every girl graduating today does. And we have spent our entire lives working towards our future. And without our input and without our consent, our control over that future has been stripped away from us. I am terrified that if my contraceptives fail, I am terrified that if I am raped, then my hopes and aspirations and dreams and efforts for my future will no longer matter. I hope that you can feel how gut-wrenching that is. I hope you can feel how dehumanizing it is to have the autonomy over your own body taken away from you. And I cannot give up this platform to promote complacency and peace when there is a war on my body and a war on my rights. A war on the rights of your mothers, a war on the rights of your sisters, a war on the rights of your daughters. We cannot stay silent.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good, because it's like, here's this person, and she's about to graduate high school from college, and she's right. Like, there's going to be situations where maybe able to even fucking control.
Yeah.
Shit happens. Life happens. And these motherfuckers are basically going to tell her, you were the valedictorian in your school. You're probably going to end up working at a gas station, like in Reality Bites. No, but I mean, we did a podcast on. You can listen to that episode of Reality Bites.
That's a good one.
Terrible movie. Great episode though. YSGOAT. Sometimes a terrible movie is a recipe for the YSGOAT. But it's like, how many more hurdles does this girl need now?
Well,
it's disgusting.
What I thought was super interesting, it was a great speech. It was a solid, good speech, and she delivered it really well. I thought it was really interesting that I didn't see any right-wing politicians in Texas attack her.
Yeah, what are they going to say?
Well, that's it. Like that, they are, because it strips everything bare. It's like, oh, you're going to attack this 18-year-old who's called you to the carpet, who said like you've declared war on my body. You've said I don't have any control over my body. If you want me to have a kid, you can force me to have you can force me to carry someone's baby. You know what I mean? And
go to jail for miscarrying, supposedly?
Yeah. Well,
this is insane. That's
shit. I mean,
nuts.
It's no one said anything against her. Like I scoured Twitter this evening looking for someone.
Oh, trust me, I know how sometimes the right wing works. Sometimes they need a day and they get a script.
That's they're having a meeting tonight.
Yep. Long is getting his Ben Shapiro is gonna say something,
and then tomorrow they'll all say. And here's what they'll do: they'll get like Nikki Haley, or they'll get Kristi Noem, or
that. What's that dumbass? Candace Owens.
Yeah, they'll get a few of the women in the GOP, and they will craft a response that'll sound something like, I admire her courage in speaking out. However, what she misses is this, you know, and then they'll come up with some bullshit. But I'll tell you, man, there's a lot of kids giving a lot of valedictorian speeches around this time of year. And it wouldn't take many.
Like, I remember the women's marches and stuff, and if they even try to push through this thing and it makes this from court and everything, it will make the women's march look like a fucking it will be like a general strike. It'll shut down the country. And it should shut the country down. It is ridiculous. And yet, thankfully, we have Biden as president. I think there's two things the Democrats could do right now that could really, if they really seriously want to do something to help protect this young woman, get rid of the filibuster.
Yeah.
That's one. And pack the court. That will solve every problem? No. You will always have problems. Some asshole will peel out and almost kill you with his car.
Yeah. Well,
specific from earlier in that podcast. There's things that are in your control, but there's other things where you don't have to make people's lives miserable. What the fuck? These people want they want Gilead. They would love to.
Oh, yeah.
They would. They would revel in it.
Yeah.
As long as they're the ones in power and they're the ones on top. And they could go to their little Jezebel clubs. They can do their little behind the scenes, but they want fucking Gilead.
Well, I'll tell you, it's it is tough. I 100% agree. Pack the courts, expand the right to vote, get rid of the filibuster.
I think the filibuster is the first one. Get rid of the filibuster. Well,
if without the filibuster leaving, there's no doing anything else.
Yeah, and I feel bad for this. I'm glad she spoke out. I'm glad it made it. I'm glad it was in Texas. People didn't boo. People didn't. Majority of people. Here's the thing about Texas. Texas would be a blue state without the gerrymandering.
Yeah.
Without the voter suppression. And there's some people who just don't vote. There are people who just don't.
Yeah.
They should not to. I don't know. I think I've been seeing also one thing too with the right wing Texas is doing is they're just helping Beto.
Yeah.
Like a lot of I'm seeing Beto get more involved now. He's going to be in our area next week.
Yeah.
I might go to that.
That's on Saturday, I believe.
No, I think it's next week. It's like Monday or something.
Oh, I thought it was the 6th. No,
I could be wrong.
That's Sunday. Well, it doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter. He is making a tour. I saw.
Yeah, I someone's like, "Oh, I would love to see him go against Cruz again." No, I think the opportunity is go after Abbott. I think we need a governor. Matt McConaughey. I mean, is he? I've heard. I think if he was going to run, he would have announced it already. I think he's.
Well, I think what is clear now is the Republicans have decided that they're going to go after the governorships and they're going to decide the elections that way. If they don't like the results, they're going to have the Secretary of State or a county judge or whatever switch the results.
And Abbott's not interested in fixing the power grid. He's not concerned about that.
No.
I guess people are okay with their pipes freezing and bursting and dying and people dying as long as Abbott goes after those pesky trans kids that are not affecting these people's lives at all.
Well,
or tries to ruin this high school, this young woman's future. I mean, dude, it's already hard enough for people to get an abortion in Texas as is.
Yeah.
This is just like what do you call it? Like salt on the wound at this point.
Well, in a functioning society, you should be able to have I don't know. I mean, there should be some stuff. You should have bare minimum health regulations. You should those procedures should be performed by people qualified to perform them and stuff. I mean, but they've just gone. I don't know. The whole thing's just
again. I think it's even beyond abortion. It's just women's bodies. It's an attack on autonomy, and it's It's really disgusting. I mean, and even the transgender thing is super disgusting.
Yeah.
You literally are like some of these creeps, like they want to be able to check the genitals of like these kids. No joke. Like there's people who've put bills in, these Republicans have put things in where they would check. Oh, here's one. I'm surprised we haven't talked about this one. This one blows my mind. I'm not shocked about this. Was it Caitlyn Jenner?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is California, and Caitlyn Jenner, transgender woman, formerly the athlete and part of the Kardashians, Bruce Jenner. Well, she's Caitlyn Jenner. We respect that.
Yeah.
And she's running for governor.
Okay, this is so weird.
And okay, so they want to recall Gavin Newsom.
Right.
The election is next year.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, this is a complete waste of fucking time and waste of tax dollars. And it's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to distract the governor, trying to distract him doing his job. It's just a distraction. You're telling me you can't just wait till next year to run for, like, it's nearly a year from now. Like, it's really not that long from now. Caitlyn Jenner is running for governor. And you would think, like, oh, great, it's a trans person, good representation.
No.
No, she's been interviewed and saying, like, she doesn't think that trans people should be allowed to participate.
Yeah.
You know, like trans women should not be allowed to, like, I don't want to be, she said, I want to be a great role model for trans people. Show them that they could be, you know, look. Yeah. But I also don't think they should be allowed to participate in female sports. Wait.
Yeah.
What? And then she even said something about making sure, like, she even said something about checking on what level of trans they are.
Yeah, it's such
It got really creepy, but it's so gross. It's like, it's so sad and pathetic. Like, we knew that she was a Trump supporter. We knew that she was always a Republican. Part of that, she's always been part of that weird, how there's like a weird LA circle with like OJ and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
And they always tend to be more Republican. The Kardashians and all these people.
Right.
And it's just super creepy and weird. It's just kind of sad too. Like you look like an idiot. Like these people don't respect you. And you're going out there and you're like going on Hannity and saying like you're gonna. It's just so sad and gross.
Yeah.
and she's an asshole. At the end of the day, she's a giant rich asshole.
Yeah. Well, there are, and I guess like this might be a good place to transition into kind of the next thing we're going to talk about is that you do have these characters like Caitlyn Jenner's maybe not the best example of it, but the Greg Abbott.
I think that the candidate who you know, you can make a big deal about it and say like, hey, this person's trans, they're running, and what's one of their big things on their platform? Oh, I want to make sure trans people can't.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. I mean, we were going to talk about the big QAnon.
Oh yeah. Okay. So speaking of Texas and how insane things are, in Dallas recently was the QAnon rally. They called it something else, has a different name.
Yeah, it's like Patriot something.
Yeah, it's basically the QAnon rally. They had Michael Flynn there.
Yeah.
Guy who should be rotting in a jail cell.
Yep.
They had a future person who should be also rotting in jail cell, Lynn Wood. Is that her name?
Oh, yeah. Lynn Wood.
That fucking she's a piece of fucking work. Yeah. I've seen a bunch of clips of it. There's this one guy who's going there and he's like punking them. He's pretending to be like a QAnon person.
Oh, I think I saw this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw him on TikTok and stuff. But he was talking to Linwood. And he was talking to this one guy outside about like he's trying to act like he's like friendly with this guy, and they're talking about like media and how they shouldn't listen to it. And then the guy's talking about, he's like, yeah, you know, like during Reagan, they got rid of the fairness like doctrine in media. That's why Fox can lie to you. And the guy's like, yeah. And he like totally missed what this guy was saying.
Yeah.
Really, but they said one of the big things that came out of this thing, which I think maybe people should, as crazy as these fucking jagoffs are, they said that we need a Myanmar style coup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, is it the lady? Remember that lady that was doing like aerobics and
Yeah.
tanks were moving in the background? That
Well,
moment of zen.
yeah, that was great. They are getting more and more entrenched in this idea that the election was stolen. They keep filing lawsuits. They have these private companies trying to count ballots. I mean, it's just like this bizarre cottage industry, and some of it's grift. I mean, some of it's people making a buck.
Oh yeah, a lot of these people, like that woman, it's a total
Yeah.
grift. Michael Flynn, it's a grift too. I mean,
Yeah.
like, he's a disgraced general. This is like how he makes his money now.
But like, there's a lot of people that are super believing it, and they think Trump is going to be reinstated in August. I mean,
Trump believes it. Trump supposedly had. I mean, we don't see him. He doesn't tweet anymore, but supposedly he even believes that he'll be reinstated. I think in the summertime he should be not reinstated. I think he should be committed. No offense to people who suffer from mental illness.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say, like, if Biden gets asked about that, I hope he says that I hope and he doesn't name, he just says, I hope the former president, capital F on the former, gets the help that he needs.
Yeah. It's really something. So, and
what's their logic? How does he get reinstated? Like,
I have not. They said that once Arizona, they have that recount in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then they have,
which was already called out as bullshit.
It's a joke. And then they have this thing going in Fulton County, Georgia, which has also got no chance of doing anything, but they have this lawsuit. And they think that if they can get Arizona and Georgia overturned, then they can go on and get like the one more state they need, like Pennsylvania or Wisconsin or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, there's no mechanism for overturning the election. If Joe Biden is found somehow not to be president or whatever, then our new president is Harris. There's no mechanism for giving it to some other guy. There's not a rule for that.
It's nonsense. I mean, like, first of all, like, the fact that the Republicans still put all their stock in Trump, who's a fucking loser. He's a fucking loser. Yeah. Like, there's no, like, is he a loser in life? No, he was a president, and he had success, and he's enjoyed life way more than me or you will ever know.
Sure.
Excesses that we'll never understand or fathom.
So much urine.
So much gold in showers. What makes him? He's a political loser. He's a fucking loser. Yeah. He lost. He barely won the election. He won the election in a way that he lost, and he spent the first year or two, literally his entire 4 years actually, trying to disprove the fact that he lost the popular vote by 3 million.
Yeah.
He had that guy, what's his name, Kobash, or whatever his name is, from
Kansas, yeah.
Try to like create a voter integrity thing. That thing failed. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
That his administration is a complete grift. Everything was just like, if they weren't making money, they weren't doing it.
Right.
And he lost the midterm election.
Yeah.
Bigly. Like, he really did. Like, he tried to say, he kept the Senate. Yeah, I think the Senate was a failure on that. And then what happens? He loses the presidency.
Yeah.
Which, again, most people have not, and most people who are alive today have not, there's adults who have not seen a one-term president before.
Yeah.
If you are 30, I don't think you barely know that there was there's the last one, George Herbert Walker Bush. It's a big deal. And again, another fucking Republican as a one-term president. That says something. I know we have the ghost of Carter.
Yeah.
But I think there was something else going on there.
Yeah.
I just think, like, and the fact that the Republicans won't distance themselves from him just shows apathetic. Like Abbott, like proudly displaying his endorsement of Trump, like Trump endorsing him. It's like, I mean, yeah, I guess that would work with the crazies, but like, Trump's a fucking loser. He's never going to be back on Twitter. He's probably never going to be back on Facebook.
Yeah, probably not.
He had a blog that he touted as a social media platform, and it was just a blog. It lasted 29 days.
Right. He could, I mean, like most, he just has no attention span for it, you know?
Well, what was the goal? The goal of the blog was to just put things there, and hopefully people would retweet it.
Right.
But what happened immediately when people were retweeting the blog?
Yeah, I think it got taken down, you know, for so
because it was all misinformation and shit. So I just think it like the idea that he's going to be reinstated, like at this point, like it's really funny. And like, what's he doing? He's in Mar-a-Lago, and he just goes on these bizarre rants, and whatever loonies at the salad bar just cheer him on.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre that he thinks that he would be reinstated when that's just not how any of it works.
I'll be president again. Or that, the other thing he thinks is that he's going to be the, what's the president who lost and then came back and won?
Not Hoover. Was it Hoover?
No, I don't think so.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he
thinks he's going to be him. And it's like,
yeah,
I don't know, dude. I mean, who the fuck knows? If Republicans can't get their shit together, then he'll probably be the one that wins the primary. I just can't see him. If he doesn't have social media, he can't control the narrative.
Right.
The only people I would like to think that the MSNBCs, CNNs, and all them, they're not going to take his bait anymore. He's boring. He's boring. He's yesterday's news. Like I don't think people.
Well,
go ahead.
He needs social media like Twitter or Facebook because a lot of people show up just to argue in the comments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Trump says something, then all his supporters can tweet their little racist frog in support of him or whatever. And all the people that hate him will like try to point out how awful he is. But like, if just Trump releases a blog post and that's all there is, then like who fucking cares? I mean,
no one cares.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck. Yeah, you released a blog post. What year is this? 2002?
Right.
Who cares?
So
like, so I mean, and the other thing too is this January 6th commission, which would have been nice if that went through.
Yeah.
Again, why we need to get rid of the filibuster? Because we don't really live in a democracy. 54 senators voted for it, I think.
Yep. And like 36 against.
35
and they won.
Against.
Yeah.
And a couple of people decided not to vote at all. And the people the people with less won.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Kristen Sinema, who claimed that January 6th was important, didn't show up.
Yeah.
She was busy doing something else. She didn't vote. I think it's kind of shitty that they put that vote right before Memorial Day weekend. I think that was a bad, like, I feel like they were almost like throwing it out in a way. I don't know if they have to do this. I hope the Congress does it. They have to do this because they did that fucking Benghazi shit, and that was all bullshit.
Yeah.
But this isn't bullshit. This is a real thing. That fucking January 6th thing was hell. And it was basically sending a signal that, oh, you thought this was this wacky thing? Well, guess what? We're going to do it again. We're going to make it 10 times worse.
Yeah.
We're going to do it in multiple cities next time at once.
Well, I mean, I keep hearing that the FBI is like increasingly worried that there's legitimate chatter on these right-wing sites that they're going to do it. That they've been trying to serve Mo Brooks with papers for like a month or so, and he won't take them.
He doesn't.
Yeah. It's Slawwell is trying to serve him. They want to go through discovery and get his phone records. The guy's terrified of it. Probably because he was on the phone.
He should be. Because he's guilty as fuck. Reality is Republicans don't want to investigate themselves.
Right.
Now, you can say like, okay, the January 6th commission comes and a lot of it's going to end up looking like bullshit. Connell will pick like the worst senators and they'll distract and take time. But the thing is, he can do that all he wants. But at the end of the day, the reason why they don't want to do that is because they still will uncover shit, regardless if the Ted Cruz comes out and farts into a mic for 5 minutes. I want to be this. Like he does that. They're still gonna uncover shit.
Yeah.
Literally uncover stuff. And McConnell doesn't want that because they'll find out that Hawley was connected. And then maybe even Mitch McConnell was connected.
Yeah, I'll bet you a lot of them were.
I guarantee you a lot of them were. You'll find out that Lindsey Graham was connected to the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
He's having dinner with one of the leaders. And
Clarence Thomas's wife. And
it's a lot of, they don't want to investigate themselves.
No.
That's why it needs to happen.
It will be, they're going to have to just start doing it,
I started seeing some people that I used to like on Twitter and stuff, like a couple people, and I stopped following them a while ago because they gotten weird. But one person I followed, I'm not even gonna name, he was like trying to downplay January 6th and everything. And they were like, "Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah, right.
This isn't. You're not gonna. Okay, now I know like the Jimmy Dores, all these people would try to push this like Russiagate shit and say like Russia's overblown. You're not gonna do Russiagate shit on. You're not gonna try to gaslight people into thinking that January 6th was not a fucking big deal.
Yeah,
it's a huge fucking deal. Oh, what? Because only 6 people died? Yeah, that's fucked up. That 6 people died in the Capitol.
Well, there's those images with the police guarding the chamber with their guns drawn and stuff. I mean, it's
people getting injured and hurt and beaten and killed. Yeah, it's a big fucking deal. It needs to be investigated. Any person that claims to be on the left and doesn't want to do anything about January 6th, I wouldn't trust those people.
Oh, no, not for a minute.
No,
not for a minute.
That's bullshit. You're basically like January 6th, like talk about election integrity. That was fucking frightening.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing that makes it even more frightening, you see, in the end of the day, this wasn't just some like independent goofballs went to the Capitol. A bunch of far-right groups and a bunch of goofballs went to the Capitol by the command of the sitting president.
Yeah.
They were allowed to run free because the sitting president made sure that the police were not active.
Yeah.
There was a skeleton crew, and some of the police were compromised there, as we saw.
Very, yeah.
And it's really fucking scary.
It is. It's terrifying.
And it happened because the sitting president lost the election and he wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me that that's overblown? Not you, Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah, not you. I'm this theoret. Like I don't take you seriously as a person, and I also don't consider you an ally. If you're a Republican, I would expect you to probably be like, yeah, I think it's not a big deal. I don't care. Because you kind of wished it happened.
Right.
But if you claim to be on the left and you are okay with what happened January 6th.
That doesn't fly.
Yeah, that's a red flag right there.
Yeah.
Massive. All right, so I mean, Kristen Sinema is like, I think, and Joe Manchin are basically standing in the way of democracy actually working. It's kind of gross. Kind of saw it coming.
Right.
Somebody tweeted and said, what is Kristen Sinema's endgame?
I saw that tweet, yeah.
I tweeted a Scrooge McDuck's vault. I think that's her name, is that she just was bought out. I think she was bought out. She was compromised. I was talking to my dad about this, and he said a lot of this has to do with Citizen United, with Supreme Court.
Okay, sure.
Where the money's coming from. She probably was bought out. We don't know who, I think, supposedly she was this like really progressive person, really cool. You know what? A lot of people would do this in a heartbeat.
She's got a weird story, for sure. I don't know. That's the only thing that adds up to me. You can't go from like a Green Party kind of progressive to like touring the border with John Cornyn. That doesn't add up.
I don't know. I've known people who've done it for less. I've known people who claim to be like super progressive and then they were given like just like a slight better position at a company, and all of a sudden they were like arguing about how the death tax was like bad. And I was like, what? Wait, what? Like, it's easy to say that somebody is, it's easy to say that you would never do these things.
Right.
But, we're also not senators.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I would like to, listen, I would like someone to have more integrity.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I think it's super gross. I don't know. I'm not shocked, but
yeah. Well, I don't know. It is an interesting thing. I know with I'm looking at our list that we had the things to talk. We were going to talk kind of in the same group about Matt Gaetz.
I just don't understand how he's not in jail.
Yeah, that's
the point. Like he was tweeting something, and I literally tweeted back. I was just like, "You're how are you not in prison? Like you're a fucking pedophile. Like it's already been made evident." There was a meme of so it was Matt Gaetz. See you later, alligator. And the alligator's like in a wild pedophile.
I mean, I don't know how, like, look, if this were any other human on earth, at the bare minimum, the police would have arrested you, let you out on like pretrial release, but put a monitor and said, stay away from kids, you know?
Right. How is he not arrested at this point? How is there not fucking, what do they call those photos?
Like a mugshot.
Yeah. How is there not a fucking Matt Gaetz mugshot already? I mean, there's been ones from DWIs and stuff, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, there should be a current one right now.
Yeah.
How is he not fucking arrested? Like I said, how is a streaming movie police itself better than the United States Congress?
I don't know.
And he's going on tour with the crazy lady.
Yeah. Ugh.
And like I said, we talked about this earlier in the podcast. I said, it's like, imagine if like Chris D'Elia and Kevin Spacey were Republicans. They could just go on tour and there'd be people cheering for them and being like, we're going to stop cancel culture. And people are like, yay, because like they should just become Republican politicians. They would be fine. They wouldn't go to jail. They'd be celebrated. They'd go on Fox News. They would talk about cancel culture and how the blue check marks are trying to cancel us, and people would be rooting them on.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly not out of the question. I don't know, man.
It sounds extreme, but like there's a guy, Matt Gaetz, there's a lot of evidence, more evidence pointed there than like what we know about Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
I just think it's really funny how if you get into Congress and stuff like that, if you're just in the right political party, you can do whatever. You got like what was the guy from what was it, Lethal Weapon 2, and he would go diplomatic immunity. You remember that guy?
Oh yeah,
that one, the South African, and he was like evil, and he kills someone in the end. And he goes diplomatic. And, I'm so mad he's getting away with it because he's getting away with that diplomatic immunity.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Was there something you were gonna say about him though? That like,
no, not necessarily. Just like he's part of this group, that's sort of latched on to Trump, and they have these wild claims, and his is kind of a curveball because he's probably likely to face an indictment soon. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah,
he's still tweeting shit. He's still attacking people. He's still doing all these things as if he
nothing
lives
happened,
in a reality where nothing affects him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it's a good cover to like be like, well, you could go two routes. You can do the silent route, where you kind of admit that now you're trying to figure out a legal way, or you could do the loud and just talk and keep doing what you were doing as a distraction. I don't get it. It's like one of those weird things where like you have a talk with your kid and your kid's like, well, how's this? We talk about bad people. How's this? But there's a bad guy here. How come he's not in jail? And you're just like, well, how do I get into this? Like the Republican Party right now. You have to like try to explain it.
DA's crooked, son.
What?
DA's crooked, son. Nothing we can do about it. DA's...
All right. What else we have on the list?
Not much. We let's see. We talked about Texas. We talked about the guns, voting, Paxton Smith, the QAnon rally.
Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis.
Shitbag.
Trump's failed blog. We have two things left. One, I don't really have a ton to say about. One was Dr. Fauci's emails.
It's just a lot of it's just like right-wing fodder, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I read some of them, and to me it looks like, I don't know. I would hate to have my internal emails read aloud to other people. You know what I mean? But all his emails looked fine. It looked like what he was saying in private and in public kind of matched up, and shit, like his estimation of the coronavirus changed over the course of a year as we learned more about it. Like, I would hope so.
That's like when the right uses like, well, Fauci said you don't have to wear a mask. Okay, he said that back in
like 2019
March when the thing was like, we didn't know what we were dealing with. Well, fuck, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
He's a right wing. He's not right. I mean, like, he's one of the names that gets thrown around a lot. Like he'll end up like he'll be in Garrison cartoon. Carlson will talk about him. Fauci, like the way he says it, it's like grating. Fauci's it's just he's a boogeyman on the right, basically.
Yeah.
He's one of the boogeymen that gets brought up. So anything could come out about Fauci, and the right wing will make it turn
right. Yeah.
Anything they can to discredit him. Why? Why do they have a problem with him? I guess because he didn't kiss Trump's ass on TV.
Yeah. And he's scientific, he's like, this is the way it is. And he didn't want to play ball with that politically, to his credit. So
yeah, I mean, they find their boogeyman, they go after it,
Yeah.
That's what they do. They have a target, and
right.
He's one of them. And you're just like, in the end of the day, you're like, what's your real problem with them?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he made the virus or made it worse. I mean, he was just like
having to notice it. Yeah.
Like, if anything, you could probably help make it go away more. Like, it's not away; it's still here.
Yeah.
Still here. Yeah. Motherfuckers still won't get vaccinated. I can't even handle that at this point. Like, if you have been vaccinated and you also believe that the world is round,
yeah,
what are you waiting for? Like, if you don't think the world is flat and you haven't been vaccinated yet,
yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah, that's screwy.
Or okay, I don't want to. I didn't want to get it first because I was like nervous. I want to see other people get it. Okay, well, guess what? Billions of people have gotten it already.
A while ago too.
It's like last fall. And I think you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Go get the vaccine. Don't be a dumbass.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's slowly coming into focus. Hopefully that'll continue.
There's a guy on TikTok. I gotta find his name. He does these like TikToks where it's like it's somebody complaining and then him responding, and he has like this serious music.
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna shop in your store. Like, I give a shit.
Right. Yeah.
Can I make minimum wage? Think I give a shit? And he does and he has like this music playing background. The best is,
right.
I'm not gonna get the vaccine. I don't care. Well, then die. You think I give a shit if you don't get the vaccine? You think?
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny. And he's got like this like this like scary kind of music playing in the background.
He's good.
Yeah.
He is good. Well, the last thing then on our list is
I didn't remember his name, but he's good.
The last thing on our list was a T-shirt you saw, which talked about the ways that someone should dress or party or.
I've seen this shirt several times in other places. It's basically a right Republican shirt.
Yeah.
It's party like W.
Yep.
Dress like JFK. Think like Ronald Reagan. And you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, it sounds like something like young Republican shit.
Sure.
Some young Republican piece of shit. Like their Bush 84 shirt that they got at Urban Outfitters years ago was in the wash. They need another shitbag shirt to wear. So they got their, this bullshit shirt, I question the shirts though a lot. I think it's sending a dangerous message. Think like Reagan. The man had severe cognitive decline for decades. What do you mean, like, think like him? Like, where's my the guy's brain?
Where's my pudding, mommy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, thank you. I was about to, mother. Like, wondering where mommy is? Like that's a problem right there. You're telling people, like, this man had severe cognitive decline for supposedly the majority of his administration. Enough that he was able to like squeeze in the re-election, but supposedly his last 4 years, they're already like out to dinner at that point.
Yeah.
I think he already had a special chair.
Right.
You know, and listen, I am not trying to. Alzheimer's is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. I feel bad if anyone has it. It's scary. It couldn't have happened to a worse of a person. He was absolute evil piece of shit. But don't think this T-shirt should be telling people to think like Reagan. Party like W. We're talking about. I'm assuming they mean George W. Bush, right? Not Washington. I don't know how Washington partied.
Right.
And his pantaloons and his mouthful of slave teeth.
Oh yeah.
You ever find that out? Yeah, you always hear the story. No, they weren't.
They weren't his teeth.
They were slave. They were teeth. They were human teeth. They weren't wooden.
Right.
Yeah. And we know where the teeth came from. Party like W. George W. Bush is what do they call it? Unrehabilitated alcoholic.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think they call it dry drunk.
Yeah, like he didn't really go. Now you don't have to go through AA. I guess there's other things you can do, but like he didn't go through like any process of like
a 12-step program or something.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I guess you don't have to do this. Like some people, they can, if they change their career and they stop hanging out with certain people, they'll stop drinking. Some people are like that, you know. But some other people have a serious problem. W, supposedly, like you said, he just was like a dry drunk.
Yeah.
I can imagine. It's probably like one of those people, like the beginning of the night, it's like okay. And then he's like falling down, you gotta carry him, he's pissing in corners, saying all kinds of racist shit, getting you guys in trouble. You're like, oh God, here comes W. Now we gotta leave the party. W's embarrassing us. We gotta go. He's that friend of yours that's just like, just stopped drinking a half hour ago. So no, I don't think you should drink like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you should party like it.
Right. You dress like JFK, I suppose.
What does that mean though?
Like big suits and shit. I don't know.
All presidents wear suits. No, I mean like Donald Trump. I wouldn't want to dress like him because he looked like a big old buffoon with his silly goofy red tie and stuff. But like most presidents, it's pretty standard. I know Obama had that tan suit.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, like they all wear suits. What is that? Like did JFK wear like t-shirts or something?
Yeah, there's photos of him wearing a t-shirt like on one of those boats and stuff.
That dressed like me.
That's an old Spuds McKenzie t-shirt.
Yeah, he wore a Big Johnson t-shirt. Look, JFK with his Big Johnson t-shirt.
Yeah.
My favorite, classic JFK. He'd be like, "Here's my Big Johnson."
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how he did it though, because he was dead for decades.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a problem with that shirt.
Well, it is an odd message.
Like I was talking to my wife about it. She made a joke, said like dress like Taft. That was good. But like, who would you want to? Would you rather party like Clinton? Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, well, to a point. Party like that. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. I mean, it's just like it just reeks of douchebag. You know, like if I like was in a store and I saw what would probably be like a 16-year-old white kid in this area probably be wearing this shirt, and I would just be like,
"Yeah,
you suck," and you'll probably
dope.
Suck. You're a piece of shit. And I will, yeah. I don't know. What else is there? Is that it?
That was it. Those were our topics.
Wow, this was that. We're back. You know, we were.
Yeah.
Now we're back.
Well, we will be back again next week, obviously, and I'm sure a million things will happen in between then and now. But that was a lot.
Do you think Matt Gaetz will be in jail?
Or
anything? Do you think anything will happen to him?
It wouldn't surprise me if he was charged with something.
You think by next Wednesday he'll be?
I would put it that maybe 30-70 yes, 40-60 yes. Well, look, I don't think they'll charge him with anything. I don't think they'll charge him with like what you think he'll be charged with first. I think first he'll get some sort of weird charge like obstruction of justice or something like that. And then from there, they'll move in. So.
And then the other guy, that was it. There was a guy. All right, well, it's fine. We can always talk about this later. The guy who's connected to the Proud Boys, but that's yeah. That was it. This is the last thing. Yeah. Lee Harvey Oswald. Forgot about this. This is really quick. There's this guy named Glenn Klippenstein, I think his name is.
That sounds right, yeah.
Twitter. And I've seen this guy on Twitter. He's pretty funny. He's a reporter. He's kind of tends to troll people pretty good.
Yeah.
And one of the he's done something like this in the past where he posted somebody and you found out he was like some murderer.
Sure.
But he did on Memorial Day, he tweeted to like this to Dinesh D'Souza and said like, my grandfather really liked you. He was
right.
He was born in World War II, and he had the picture of the guy.
Yeah.
And Dinesh D'Souza liked the tweet or something like that, and then or retweet. I don't know. It was like he liked it, but then like other right wingers got it. Matt Gaetz like retweeted it.
Yeah.
And put an American flag. The best part about it was that the guy was joking because the picture of the person was not his grandfather, but it was Lee Harvey Oswald, who did serve in the military.
Yeah.
The best part too was when Matt Gaetz retweeted it. Ken Klippenstein changed his profile to say Matt Gaetz is a pedophile. So Matt Gaetz retweeted somebody who's telling everybody that his grandfather was Lee Harvey Oswald, who killed Kennedy, which goes back to the T-shirt. Lee Harvey Oswald is the reason why you're not dressing like Kennedy.
Right.
Killed by Lee. Well, maybe in theory.
Oh, fine.
And then Matt Schlapp, that guy from he runs that fucking right-wing convention they do every year. He retweeted it, and people were like, "Dumbass, this is like Lee Harvey Oswald." And they all got pumped. And then like Candace Owens got involved.
Yeah, she was saying that it was photoshopped, but it wasn't. I mean, it was just a photo of Lee Harvey Oswald.
Photo. He was in the military. Yeah, clearly this photo of Lee Harvey Oswald's photoshopped.
Right.
He can.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was really good. That was like
that was funny.
That made Memorial Day.
Yeah.
That was possibly like. That's like peak trolling. It just shows you how like easy it is to get these guys. I mean, like Matt Gaetz retweeting it, tweeting it, which is putting an American flag.
Yeah.
Lee Harvey Oswald, and then the guy changing his profile name to Matt Gaetz is a pedophile. Like, does this guy see that at all and has like any reaction?
That's a good question.
Is he so protected in his right-wing bubble that he doesn't even like see that?
I could see that being the case. I don't know that, but I could see that being the case. Well,
yeah.
Hopefully we'll find out soon.
We'll find out. I guess we'll find out in part 2 of YSGOAT News.
Yeah.
Will Matt Gaetz be arrested? I mean, you could tune in to find out, or you can just follow. Yeah. But you could also tune in to find out in next week's YSGOAT News. Will Matt Gaetz get arrested? I think this could be a good summer, like a summer fun.
Like a little appetizer.
Yeah, like a little thing for YSGOAT. Like we're gonna see if Matt Gaetz gets arrested this summer.
Yeah.
And it's like a summer blockbuster. They used to have those. Like The Last Action Hero starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. we need to bring back the summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
Movie theaters will kind of close. They're coming back slowly.
Yeah, they're getting there.
Have the summer blockbuster. I think Matt Gaetz getting arrested would be a good one. In 3D, smell of vision. All right.
Cool.
On that note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that?
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.